Well, that game absolutely sucked. And us Sixers fans went through so many emotions in that game. We were up in the first quarter. We were so down. The vibes were so low going into halftime. Um, then we get the lead back in the third quarter. We're taking the lead going into the fourth quarter. And I'm like, holy shit, the 76ers actually have a chance to win this game after they just put up 36 points in the third quarter. If they could take this game tonight at Madison Square Garden, that would be a huge sigh of relief going into game two. And they shit the bed. They shit the bed in the fourth quarter, getting outscored by 10 points by the New York Knicks. And the Knicks take game one of this series 111 to 104 over the Philadelphia 76ers. And before we get into any of the stats and the two main reasons why the Philadelphia 76ers lost this game to the New York Knicks, I have to talk about Joel Embiid because we know his playoff history. The dude is hurt every single playoffs. He finds a new way to get hurt every single year, whether it was his knee against the Atlanta Hawks, um, his elbow against the Raptors in 2019, um, his face. He broke an orbital bone in his face, and he was out for 2 games, and he had to wear a mask. His knee again this year or last year against the Boston Celtics, and now this year, um, he tears his meniscus, and he's out for 2 months throughout the season, and he's not there for his teammates. And while he is out, before he was out, the Sixers were third place in the Eastern Conference, and he's out, and they are the seventh seed going into these playoffs. And the reason they are so low is because of Joel Embiid not being available. If he was actually there for them, and he didn't get hurt, um, then they would be in a much higher position than they were right now. They would not be playing the New York Knicks in the first round of the playoffs, which is a really tough draw. The Knicks are a very good basketball team. So are the Sixers. But the Knicks are a very good basketball team. And Joel absolutely dominated the first quarter. They could not stop him whatsoever. Um, and Hartenstein really couldn't do anything defending Joel Embiid. Mitchell Robinson, on the other hand, had a great night defending Joel Embiid, and he's probably going to be the new center going forward for the New York Knicks, if you ask me, because he did a much better job tonight on Joel Embiid than Hartenstein did, and I hate doing it, but I will give him props. But I won't give him props. I'm going to take that back because Joel Embiid, stupid, boneheaded, reckless play, absolutely fucking reckless from Joel Embiid to do that play, what you did, to throw the basketball off the glass and dunk it in. I don't give a fuck that it was a great play. He sacrificed himself for that dunk, and it turned out for the worse. And it's probably because of that play that Joel Embiid is not going to be playing on Monday night. If I am a betting man, I am willing to bet that Joel Embiid will not be playing on Monday night. Paul Reed will be the starting center for the Philadelphia 76ers on Monday night. And they will go back home at the Wells Fargo Center down 2-0 to the New York Knicks. All these people saying that it was a highlight reel play from Joel Embiid. And sure it was. But when you know that your body physically can't do stuff like that, what makes you think that it's okay? Because obviously his body can't go through that. And yeah, he came out to play in the second half. But I've got a feeling that the reason he came out and played was because of adrenaline. It had to be. The adrenaline was pumping, and he wanted to be out there, which good for him. But he was about 30% out there. His mid range game is usually great. His mid range game sucked. The only reason he scored points was because he got himself to the free throw line. And that's the only success that he had in the second half. And it was because he was playing on a bum knee. He was playing at about 30%. And I'm telling you guys right now, because I am not going to be shocked when this happens, he's not playing on Monday. He will be out. They're going to be underdogged heavily against the Knicks at the Garden once again. And they will be down 2-0 going to Philadelphia on Thursday night. I thank you guys for joining me here on the channel. We are going to try to get through this game. Very, very upsetting loss, I would say. Is the series over? No. But I would say that my confidence has decreased because they had the chance to win this game tonight. They soared back in the third quarter. Tyrese Maxey, man, shout out Tyrese Maxey. He was probably the best player for the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. 33 points on 26 shots. He was cold in the first half, but in the second half, when the team needed him, he did come through. Unfortunately, the rest of the team didn't, and the rest of the team failed on defensive assignments against Josh Hart in the fourth quarter, which is why Josh Hart drained all those threes. Never again will Josh Hart make about 4 3-pointers in a row. If I can go to the game tracker, let me see if Josh Hart made all of his threes in the fourth quarter. That's one. Two. Nah, he made 2 before. But there is no excuse to leave Josh Hart wide open at the end of the game like that. That is bad coaching by Nick Nurse. And you know what else is bad coaching by Nick Nurse? Was leaving Tobias Harris in the game in clutch moments. You want to know why? Because down 4, 101-97, OG Anunoby makes a 3-pointer to make it a 7-point game. Who was supposed to be guarding OG Anunoby, you ask? Oh
shit,
it was Tobias Harris. That's who was supposed to be covering OG Anunoby. He got over there super late, got one arm up barely, and OG makes a wide open 3-pointer, and the game was over at that point. I didn't care. But just throughout the entire night, the Knicks were just draining threes, man. I said it in the preview that one of the main keys in this series is going to be what set of role players steps up the most for the Sixers and the Knicks. And tonight it was the Knicks. The role players on the Sixers didn't do absolute jack shit. Tobias Harris sucking the life out of this team once again. Kelly Oubre didn't really do much. Kyle Lowry made a couple big buckets in the third quarter. He ended up with 18 points on the night. And that was really the only contribution that they got from a role player was Kyle Lowry. Tonight, the Knicks, Jesus Christ. Josh Hart, he made those 3-pointers at the end of the game. He ended up having 13 rebounds. You should not be allowing 13 rebounds to a guy like Josh Hart. And I know he's great on the rebound glass, and he had 19 rebounds in one of the games against the Sixers this year. But, come on, dude. And that last three he made to go up 107 and 100, he was covered. He was covered by Kyle Lowry, and he still made it. Shit's fucking bogus, man. It really is. So you had OG who made the big bucket at the end to go up by 7. Josh Hart making all those threes. Jalen Brunson, he had 22, 7, and 7, but he shot 8 for 26 tonight. So he did not really have that great of a game, in my opinion. It was just the guys around him that were getting it done. And it was the fucking rebounds, which, I'll get to in a little bit. Bogdanovich had 13 points off the bench. Miles Deuce McBride was the X factor in this game. It was him that gave the spark that the Knicks needed in the second quarter when they were down by 9 points going into it. It was Miles McBride who made those 2 threes to get them right back in the game. And he ended up making 5 threes. So you're telling me that the Sixers gave up 5 threes to Miles McBride and he had 21 points. And they gave up 4 threes to Josh Hart, who had 22 points and 13 rebounds. Missed assignments, man, especially at the end of the game. Because you should not be willing to let anybody shoot wide open threes like that. And that's what they did tonight. They let Josh Hart, butt naked, wide open for 3. It was a disaster, bro. And then the rebounds. Oh my God. I might have a headache while I'm talking about this. The rebounds. Let me tell you the stats. So, by the way, the New York Knicks, they shot 45% from 3. So, you got the Knicks on a really good shooting night. From the second quarter on, they shot really good. And they weren't terrible in the third quarter. The Sixers were just better. But these rebounding stats, man, holy shit. The 76ers had 41 rebounds tonight. The New York Knicks had 66 rebounds. The New York Knicks had 25 more rebounds than the 76ers did. 23 offensive rebounds for the Knicks, 9 for the 76ers. That's your game. That's your game right there. Is those rebounds. And we need someone to come down and grab rebounds with Joel Embiid, because Joel cannot do it by himself, especially playing with a 30% knee. And he's probably going to be out on Monday. Like I said, I'm willing to bet that Joel Embiid is not going to play on Monday night. So, who is going to step up grabbing rebounds? against Mitch Robinson, against Hart. I don't know. I don't know. Josh Hart had 13 rebounds tonight. Hartenstein had 7, which you would expect for a center. Brunson had 7 rebounds. He had a ton of second chance opportunities because of rebounds. You let Bogdanovich get 7, and Mitch Robinson got 12. So, that's your game right there. That's your game. 3 factors for the game tonight were the Knicks having 25 more rebounds than the Sixers, the wide open threes at the end of the game from Josh Hart, and yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of a blame on Nick Nurse because Nick Nurse did not bench Tobias Harris at the end of the game. Tobias Harris doesn't give this team anything. Tobias Harris doesn't give this team a spark, and shame on me because I got so excited when Tobias Harris made his first shot of the game from 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, this might be a good game from Tobias. Nope. Tobias sucked the life out of this team, if anything. Tobias had 7 points and 9 rebounds. That doesn't cut it, man. That just doesn't cut it at all. So, what happens now? What happens now? Well, let me go on Twitter and see if anything's happened. If there's anything with Embiid. Joel Embiid said he won't be available to talk to the media tonight. That's not good. That's not good. Knicks fans chanting Knicks in 4 outside of Madison Square Garden. I don't know, man. Is the series over? No, it's not. But my expectations went down. I don't think the Sixers are going to win this series with an unhealthy Embiid again in the postseason. The guy just cannot stay healthy. And I don't know, man. It sucks. Don't expect Embiid to play on Monday night. If he does, I would be shocked. And I expect this series, whether he does play or not, to be 2-0 going to the Wells Fargo Center on Thursday night with the Knicks up 2-0. So, it just sucks because they had a fantastic third quarter. They scored 36 points in the third quarter, only to fold in the fourth quarter. So, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel for some more content. I'll be back on here tomorrow night to review AEW Dynasty pay-per-view from St. Louis. Very excited for the pay-per-view tomorrow night. Gonna be a late one. So, should be up about an hour and a half or so after the pay-per-view is over. I'm excited, man. Should be a good show. And then we'll be back on here Monday night for Game 2 of the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the New York Knicks. They tip off at 7:30 on Monday night. Comment down below if you're a Sixers or a Knicks fan, your thoughts on this game. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter, Conlon_Joseph. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy and go Sixers.